People are always asking me, Brett, what are some great beginner books for aspiring piano players that are based around video game music? Okay, nobody's ever asked me that, but it sets this video up nicely. This is the Legend of Zelda series for Easy Piano book by Alfred. This book houses some easy piano arrangements of music from the Legend of Zelda series. At this point it's a little bit outdated, it only goes from the original game to Spirit Tracks, but it's still a very interesting collection. Let me tell you about it in exchange for your watch time. This book comes to us from Alfred, and it includes pieces from the original Zelda on the NES up to Spirit Tracks on the DS. Right off the bat, by looking at the list of pieces, you can see that some games are a bit more favored than others, like the original game in Ocarina of Time. It makes sense to me that some games have more representation, but whether that's a positive or negative to you depends on your own game preferences. I don't want to show too much of what's inside the book, because then people can just pause the video and play from that, and I don't want to be that guy. But I will play a few samples for you so you can get an idea of how these are arranged. Let's start with the main theme from the original game. Now, the NES wasn't a console that could pump out many notes at the same time, so there wasn't much to simplify here. The left hand only plays one note at a time, and the right hand has sparse harmonies here and there. The piece is also transposed to the key of C from the original B flat, so players don't have to worry about the black keys as much. The book also notes that the original tempo is quarter note equals 150, but recommends a tempo of quarter note equals 100. As I said, it wasn't like the original track had much going on, but it's worth noting that a lot of the pieces in this book are arranged like this. Let's jump to a newer game for comparison. Let's talk about the prelude of Majora's Mask. Again, they take it from its original key and put it in C major, so the player doesn't have to stray as far from the white keys. They recommend a slower tempo than the original, and they remove a bit of activity. For instance, here is what a section sounds like in this book. And here's what it sounds like in the intermediate advanced book from the same company. For some parts, the book will recommend a finger you should use for a certain note, which is helpful for developing good technique to apply to other pieces of music. Another advantage of using this book to learn is that you hypothetically know how most of the pieces sound already, so you don't have to work as hard to learn the rhythms and can focus more on getting your hands used to navigating the keyboard. For someone like me who's okay-ish at piano, not fantastic but not a beginner, this book is great for sight reading practice. So I think it has value for players of different experience levels. I got this book a few Christmases ago, and overall I think it's a pretty solid book for beginners and even those that are a little further along. As I mentioned, the makers of this book, Alfred, came out with an intermediate advanced version of this book, if that's more your style, and they also released a book that's wholly dedicated to the music of Spirit Tracks. There's also a piano solo book based on the Symphony of the Goddess tour. I haven't gotten my hands on one of those, but that might be something worth checking out as well. So whether you're new to piano or you've been playing for a while, there's a Zelda book out there for you. So go check them out, play some music, and I'll see you next time. I don't know why I always say I'll see you next time, because I can't see you. Oh well, I don't know. Whatever.